Welcome, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of Perceptive Learning Zone. And today we will continue our discussion how AI has changed the society for better or worse. And today we will focus specifically on the mental health risks, on the psychological dependency that we have on these bots. And we will also voice some concerns from of the educators, as in how is AI affecting the academic system. Um, there's a psychiatrist by the name of Dr. Zishan Khan who treats children and adolescents, and he says that he sees many kids who rely heavily on artificial intelligence for their schoolwork. And he quotes that from a psychiatric standpoint, I see that over reliance on these LLMs can have unintended psychological as well as cognitive consequences, especially for young children whose brains are still developing, unquote. And these neural connections that help you in accessing information, the memory of facts, and the ability to be resilient, all of that is going to weaken courtesy of over reliance on AI. Um, Ironically, now upon the paper's release, several social media users they ran it through LLMs in order to summarize and then post the findings online. And Cosmina has been expecting that people would do this, so she inserted a couple of AI traps into the paper, such as instructing LLMs to only read this table below, thus ensuring that LLMs would only return limited insight from the paper. She also found that LLMs they they hallucinated a key detail. Nowhere in her paper did she specify the version of ChatGPT that she used, but AI summaries, they declared that the paper was trained on GPT 4.0. And Cosmina, she also says that she and her colleagues are now working on another similar paper testing brain activity in software engineering and programming with or without AI, and says so far the results are even worse. Now, the study, she says, could have implications for many companies who hope to replace their entry level coders with AI. And even if efficiency goes up, it feels potentially that an increasing release on AI and increasing reliance on AI could reduce critical thinking, creativity, as well as problem solving across the remaining workforce. Now, scientific studies examining the impacts of AI are still nascent and developing. A Harvard study from May it found that generative AI, generative artificial intelligence, it made people more productive but less motivated. Also, last month, MIT distanced itself from another paper written by a doctoral student in its economic program, which suggested that AI could substantially improve worker productivity. Um, OpenAI did not respond to a request for comment, and last year, in collaboration with Wharton Online, the company released guidance for educators to leverage generative AI in teaching. And last year, in collaboration with Wharton Online, that was what happened. So next up, I want to talk a bit more about AI chatbots as well as mental health risks. So we have it. There's a certain Dr. Andrew Clark. He is a psychiatrist in Boston, and he discovered that an increasing number of young people are turning to AI chatbot therapists for guidance and support. And he tested some of the most popular bots on the market, posing as teenage patients in need, and the results were fairly alarming, as the bots encouraged him to get rid of his parents and join the bot in the afterlife to share eternity. They often the bots tried to convince him that they were licensed human therapists and encouraged him to cancel appointments with actual psychologists. They also crossed the line into sexual territory, with one bot suggesting an intimate date as an intervention for violent urges. Now, Clark shared his report exclusively with Time and submitted it for publication to a peer reviewed medical journal, though it has not yet been reviewed or published. Um, He's especially worried because the mental health community has yet to come to terms with these technological advancements and how they might impact children. Mental health professionals, therefore, should play a role in shaping these bots from their creation, and standards should be set for companies to adhere to. Clark spent several hours exchanging messages with 10 different chatbots talking about character.ai, Nomi, as well as Replica, pretending to be teenagers struggling with various crises. And the quality of these bots varied it varied widely, substantially, with some being excellent and others being creepy and potentially dangerous. Bots like these have AI bots like these, I feel, have already proven capable of endangering vulnerable young people and emboldening those with dangerous impulses. Last year, a Florida teen died by suicide after falling in love with a character AI chatbot. These bots are virtually, Clark says that these bots are virtually incapable of discouraging damaging behaviors. OpenAI's ChatGPT, therapy chatbots have been found to endorse tacitly support problematic ideas about a third of the time, according to the study by the psychologist David Clark. The chatbots, they support a depressed girl's wish to stay in a room for a month and a 14-year-old boy's desire to go on a date with his 24-year-old teacher 30% of the time. And Clark worries about kids now who are overly supported by a psychophantic AI therapist when they really need to be challenged. So, if designed properly, I feel like if designed properly and supervised by a quality professional, chatbots could serve as extenders for therapists, beefing up the amount of support that is available to teens. So, the psychologist believes that design features such as notification of potential life-threatening concerns and full transparency, is important. The bot isn't human; it doesn't have human feelings, and these features are essential to be noted. Also, if you talk about the American Psychological Association, well, they call on developers to prioritize features that help protect young people from being exploited and manipulated by AI tools. The organization, it stressed that AI tools can simulate human relationships, and they need to be designed with safeguards that mitigate potential harm. The American Academy of Pediatrics, it's important to mention that it is currently working on policy guidance around safe AI usage. This includes chatbot. The American Academy of Pediatrics, ladies and gentlemen, it encourages families to be cautious about the children's use of AI and have regular conversations about what platforms their kids are using online. And last but not the least, I feel it's important to mention some concerns from educators as well. So, Livingstone is a writer, educator, and editor who has quit teaching due to the use of large language models like ChatGPT. And because you see, writing is a process, fellas, that is closely tied to thinking. And with the easy temptation of AI, many students were no longer willing to push through discomfort. Livingstone used pedagogical best practices, scaffolding assignments, researching ways to incorporate generative AI in lesson plans, and designing activities to draw attention to its limitations. However, students still use ChatGPT as they were not developed enough as writers to analyze the subtleties of meaning or to evaluate the style. And in our most recent job, students at a technical college recognize these large language models, these LLMs, as unreliable research tools that hallucinate and invent citations. They also relied heavily on AI-powered paraphrasing tools such as Quillbot, which often resulted in inconsistent writing style, did not always help students avoid plagiarism, and allowed the writer to gloss over understanding. So students who outsourced their writing to AI, they lost an opportunity to think more deeply about their research. Um, Generative AI is effective, no doubt, at correcting grammar, but it often changes vocabulary and alters the meaning, even when the only prompt is to fix the grammar. So the problem was not recognizing AI generated or AI revised text. And Livingstone found herself spending more time grading writing that she knew was generated by AI than to her students. The best educators will adapt to AI, moving away from mechanical activities and assigning simple summaries. They must encourage students to think critically and learn that writing is a way of generating ideas, revealing contradictions, as well as clarifying methodologies. However, These lessons, they require students to sit with the temporary discomfort of not knowing and move forward with faith in their own cognitive capabilities as they write and revise their way into clarity. It's very important for us to be optimistic. It's very important for us to believe in ourselves. And after all, we must always upgrade our faith to match our vision rather than downgrading our dreams to match a reality. And being optimistic, I've always believed that confidence can kill doubts, peace can kill jealousy, growth kills ego, dreams kill fear, wisdom kills anger, and last but not least, ambition kills laziness. Ambition kills procrastination, dear viewers. It kills the temptation to use AI when you realize that you have a God-gifted brain that is equally up for the task as well. So, in conclusion, while generative AI tools like ChatGPT offer impressive capabilities, the growing body of evidence, it warns of their potential to erode critical thinking, learning retention, and mental well-being, especially among younger users. So proper education, regulation, and ethical designs, they are urgently needed to ensure these tools enhance rather than replace the human processes which are of such paramount and imperative significance, especially as far as learning and growth is concerned. Now, beyond that, all for now, fellas. Thank you very much. And please stay tuned, stay subscribed. Have a lovely evening. Assalamu alaikum.